The steam engine was made by a guy named Heron. Heron was in the Library of Alexandria in Egypt. And he made the steam engine 1,500 years before Takia did. We've had the steam engine for 2,000 years now. Now, when I mentioned Heron, I didn't say it. I almost said it, but I caught myself. I almost said he was a Greek from Alexandria, Egypt, at the Great Library who invented the steam engine. And the reason I caught myself is because of the identity thing, which I'm not done talking about. But before I move away from Heron, I just want to point out what he did. He made two steam engines, in fact. One of them was actually a static rocket, and it just spun. So he didn't just invent the steam engine, he also invented the world's first ever rocket. It didn't go anywhere, but it was a rocket. The other thing he did was he made a mechanical play with gears. I was also taught that the gear was invented like 300 years ago. But he, 2,000 years ago, made a play that actually had gears in it. In fact, we now have a thing called the Antikythera device. The Antikythera device was found off the coast of Antikythera. It's a metal box. For the longest time, archaeologists had no idea what to do with it. Somebody went, what if we x-rayed it? And they did it. They x-rayed it. It has gears in it. The thing is 2,000 years old. And then they figured out what it was. Well, recently, we finally figured out what this thing was. It was a computer. It was an analog computer, a mechanical computer, not a digital computer. It wasn't electronic. It had gears in it. And what you would do is you would enter the date on the top, and then it would rotate the constellations into place. So it was an astronomical computer, so you could know what constellations you would see that night. Think about how complicated it would have been to put that kind of data into the form of gears and then stick it into a box and make it work. Where you're putting something as complicated as a date into it by rotating the gears. This is not nothing. So Heron had this thing with gears in it, with levers, by the way, with bells and whistles on it. You would turn it on, and then you would go sit down and watch. And what the gears would do is it would cause the scenes to shift, and you could have an object move across. For example, you could have waves, and then a boat, and then you could have sound effects with the bell and the whistle and the clacking. And then the scene could shift because you had all these different things that would move into place. And you could have a scene where a boat goes across the water and lands on the shore and a hero moves out. In other words, he invented a TV. It was just a mechanical TV. 2,000 years ago. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?